I'm Lala, and thank you for purchasing my new instructional video, Karate's Phenomenal Ab Training Secrets. In front of me are several of the training aids that I've used to help enhance some of the abdominal conditioning exercises. They're relatively simple and inexpensive, some of them even homemade, like the sit-up board. I obtained a plank of wood from the lumber yard in which I used styrofoam filling and covered with a piece of material that I've nailed on the bottom. I've also used one of my old karate belts that I wrapped around and nailed on the sides. You can also use a piece of rope as well. But what's best about these exercises on the tape is that you really don't need a lot of these training aids. They can be done simply on the floor, or if you like to train outdoors in the schoolyard utilizing the monkey bars or what have you. On this videotape, I'm going to try to show you 3 distinct levels of abdominal conditioning. The first of the 3 distinct levels of abdominal conditioning is for the health buff or fitness enthusiast who's just looking to tone up his midsection. Good strong abs help prevent sluggishness and imbalance, and they also help protect vital organs such as the stomach, liver, and kidneys. At the same time, they also help support the back and also give you good posture. The second level of abdominal conditioning is for the bodybuilder or the person who likes doing fitness competition where they have to develop that really ripped washboard ab look. Then there's the third level of abdominal conditioning for the borderline psychos that practice very high-impact, high-contact sports and have to be able to withstand punishing blows to that area. The midsection is one of the largest vital points on the body, besides the head, of course, but there aren't really any conditioning methods to help against headshots. So we want to be able to keep our hands higher in a fighting situation, protecting our head rather than always concentrating on our body. We want to be able to really develop the abs so that we can concentrate more on protecting the head. Strong abs also help kicking ability. The stomach muscles work in conjunction with the leg muscles so that you can snap out kicks and really be effective in snapping the kick. Not just strong leg muscles, but also ab muscles. In karate, we have special training methods to help tighten the whole body as well as the abs. It's a moving form of dynamic tension called the sanchin kata. Other systems might call it by other names or use other movements in their pattern, but it's basically the same thing. We want to try to visualize our bodies becoming as hard as stone and possibly at the same time having your instructor striking different portions of your body to build up the toughness. Over the years of training, I've developed 2 types of programs that you may want to incorporate in your training program as well. There's the fight preparation program and the maintenance program. In the fight preparation program, it's a short period of intense training, usually 3 to 6 weeks before a competitive event. This period involves very intense training and is not really good for long periods of time because it'll actually start breaking down your body. That's when you want to have the maintenance program, which could be done on a daily basis throughout the year and is much better for health reasons, of course. Picking the right program is easy with Karate's Phenomenal Ab Training Secrets. At the end of this tape, I'm going to show you specific programs for beginning, intermediate, and advanced levels. But if you haven't really done a lot of physical activity, please see a doctor first before you engage in these exercises. Then determine what are your goals. Are you just trying to tone up your midsection, or are you ready to compete in bodybuilding competition, or are you ready to engage in high-impact, full-contact sports such as kickboxing or full-contact karate? There are 3 speeds for doing ab exercises. First are very high-speed repetitions. The next speed is doing very slow repetitions. As you can see, after the 3rd rep, I slow down the exercise. Try to keep the back straight, and as you come up, curve your back and come down slowly. The last speed I call a delayed rep. That's holding the final position for 1 second and then coming back to the original position. Up, hold, and then back down. Up, hold, then back down. To sum up the speeds, 1, very fast repetitions for power and endurance, 2, very slow reps for strength training, and 3, delayed reps for maximum resistance training. Now let's get into the routines and exercises. 1 is the straight leg sit-up while lying flat on your back. Perform the exercise as if someone's pulling you up by your chest with a string. The sit-ups today are causing quite a bit of controversy regarding back problems. Basically, most exercises can cause back problems if done incorrectly. A lot of times over the years, I found people trying to make up excuses for not doing exercises. For example, don't do sit-ups, they're bad for your back. Or don't lift weights, they'll make you big and slow. Or don't run and sprint, it's bad for your knees and ankles. Don't condition your hands, it'll cause arthritis through the years. Please, if you want to reach your goals, research the exercise methods, learn how to do them properly, and take care of your body. Now we're getting into the incline sit-ups, which require a little bit more resistance and making the exercises tougher. I have the arms crossed in front of me, which makes the exercise a little bit easier. Now the hands behind my head causes a little extra weight on the upper body, giving the exercise a little bit more resistance. The bent knee sit-up also helps work the legs. Now you may be asking yourself, why work the legs also when doing ab training? I say, why not? If you had to isolate every body part while doing exercises, your training might last 5, 6, maybe 10 hours a day. It's a good idea sometimes to combine exercises or do exercises that work different muscle groups. Now I'm using a 25-pound plate for a little bit more of an advanced workout, adding more resistance to the upper body. This is another variation of the sit-up using a 25-pound plate. In this case, I used a jump rope and laced it through the hole on the weight. Again, perform the exercise slowly and properly. This will help avoid any back problems later on down the road. Next, I'm incorporating wrist weights. As you can see, I'm not putting my hands behind my head or interlocking them at that point. That keeps me from bending my head forward and hurting my spinal column. Again, I'm working with the hands crossed in front, which is a slightly easier workout. The wrist weights I have here are only 2.5 pounds each. They do have many different kinds that are slightly heavier. Now I'll be incorporating the dumbbells. These are also 2.5 pounds each, but this gives me the liberty to throw combination punching techniques. I'm also doing the twisting sit-up, which works the sides of the abs or the obliques. Again, with the bent knee and the incline board. This is a slightly advanced exercise, so you may want to concentrate more on the beginning type sit-ups first and work your way up to these exercises. Throwing the punches also works the triceps and help me improve my hand speed as well. Now I'm throwing 2 punch combinations, and I'll work up to 3 punch combinations. I try to keep my training exercises as varied as possible. This also helps get rid of any boredom that I may have from doing all these ab exercises. This next exercise is what I call the V sit-up. It's actually a combination of a leg raise and a sit-up. Try to keep your hands outstretched as straight as possible and bring your legs straight up also. Here I'm performing them holding them 1 second. This is extremely difficult. Now I've enhanced the exercise using wrist and ankle weights. The ankle weights are slightly heavier than the wrist weights. Again, try to keep your knees a little bit straighter than I am right there. It's just after a couple of hours, these exercises can get pretty grueling. This is a simplified version of the V sit-up. I'm only incorporating the lower portion of my body with the leg raise. As you can see, I changed hand positions. You can use your forearms flat on the ground or your palms down on the ground. Now I'm performing them slightly faster. Again, try to keep your back straight, looking forward. And again, make believe that someone's pulling you from your chest with a string. That same concept goes with the crunch. Now we're only lifting the top portion of our body. This is probably one of the simplest yet safest forms of ab training, the crunch. As you can see, I used a cinder block just to help me keep my feet in place while I'm performing the twisting sit-ups. Left elbow to right knee, right elbow to left knee. Here's a variation of the crunch with my feet crossed and elevated. I'm going straight forward. Now I'll include the twisting sit-up. As you can see, I unlocked my feet so that I can bring my knee a little bit closer to my upper body. Now I have my feet on the floor and interchanging. Next is the Roman chair sit-up. Probably one of the scariest exercises to perform. But please perform the exercise slowly. This is the same exercise incorporating a 50-pound plate. You may not want to try this right away. These are really more for like professional athletes, someone who's really doing serious training and preparing for competition-type purposes. The next exercise utilizes the lat machine. I've attached a piece of rope to the S-hook at the end of the cable, and I'm sitting in a kneeling, praying position, and I'm curving my body down to work the abs. Next is a variation of the Roman chair sit-up using the hand dumbbells and performing punches at the same time. Again, as you can see, when I do the actual sit-up, I'm performing them a little bit slower, being more careful of my back. Next are the leg raises. This is the flat leg raise using a small form or small angle. You can put your hands under your buttocks, but in this case I'm utilizing my homemade sit-up board and grabbing the end of the board. Now I'm performing a 90-degree or larger form leg raise. Now I've inclined the board, adding a little bit more resistance to the small form leg raise. Try to keep your knees straight and concentrate on your abs, breathing properly in and out, deeply. This is the full form leg raise, in which I go completely overhead, lifting my back off the inclined board. Now I'm performing a twisting variation of the inclined leg raise with the full form movement. This will be working the sides again or the obliques. You can see the positioning of my hands gripping the top of the board. Next is a very difficult form of body raise, trying to keep the body as straight as possible. As you can probably imagine, this involves a lot more than just your ab muscles. I'm really working my arms, shoulders, and back at the same time. I've also incorporated the small form and the full form leg raise into this particular exercise. Now we go into our series of hanging leg raises. This is the basic straight leg, straight up leg raise. Try to keep in control of your legs while you're performing the movement up and down. This is an easier variation of the hanging leg raise, the bent knee raise. As you can see, I'm lifting my buttocks high there, try to really work the abs. Next, the twisting hanging leg raise, working the sides of the abs. Again, keep in control of your legs up and down. Don't swing them wildly and swinging back and forth. If you have a problem maintaining a grip for long periods of time, they do sell wrist wraps and other cable-type contraptions to help you stay up longer. This is a variation of a scissors-type kick with the leg raise, probably more for martial artists as well, but it really gives a good burn to the ab section. Next, we have an outward form scissors-type exercise. The exercise performed raising the legs straight up forward and then circling them wide. Then this is a variation combining the outward circles and the inward circles. Again, I'm just adding a little bit more resistance to my abs, keeping my legs out in front of me for a longer period of time performing the circles. I'm also working the obliques and the sides of the frontal abs as well. This is a little something I created using C-clamps and a curl bar. Again, use your imagination. For example, outdoors, I use the backstop in a ball field. And please don't let anything get in your way in terms of excuses. The weather, for example. Do your training. This is also a variation of leg raise. Here I am kicking the bar that I'm actually hanging off of to make sure that I perform that full form leg raise. It may be helpful for martial artists, but this is really more for getting the legs up there and really working the abs full form. Next, the hanging sit-up. A very difficult exercise. You also have to make sure you have really good supporting mechanism here. These are the monkey bars in the ball field near my house. I've wrapped padding around one of the bars and interlocked with a bar that's going across next to the one that I'm hanging off of. You may want to have a partner helping you out with these exercises. The next series of exercises are for the contact athletes. Here I'm performing the medicine ball throw without a partner. Next, I'm having a partner just lightly drop the medicine ball on my midsection. In a moment, I'll be asking him to further pick up the pace and start throwing the medicine ball into my midsection. I'm extending my legs now, trying to get a little bit more of the resistance workout for the abs. Now I'm performing crunches and having my partner throw the medicine ball at the same time. You may want to breathe outward and rapidly, just about at the time of impact of the medicine ball. Do not breathe inward when receiving the hit. Next is the incline bent knee sit-up with my partner hitting my midsection with focus mitts in order to mitigate the blow or soften the blow a little to the midsection. Now again to some solo training with the heavy bag, swinging it into my midsection. You can work different angles, front, side, and even move up and down, hitting the chest or lower abs. Now I'm enhancing the workout with my partner swinging the medicine ball into my midsection. And I'll be practicing a little freestyle after the hit, following up with striking methods. Again, try to work that countering mentality, getting hit and then following up, getting hit, following up. Hit once, hit back twice. Opponent hits you once, you follow up 2 and 3 times. Next are going to be a series of exercises you can perform with a partner. Interlocking the feet, performing sit-ups. Next, interlocking your hands and arms, performing leg raises. Doing it with a partner really gets you motivated. You want to do more than your partner, faster, become stronger than your partner. Next, I'm pushing the legs to add a little bit more resistance to the leg raise exercise. Now this particular exercise not only works me performing the sit-up, but the partner has to really keep his upper body and abs tight in order to give me good stability. Next, I'm going to start incorporating striking methods using the hand. In this particular case, the palm heel. Just lightly working, tapping the body, gradually building up power. Next, you may want to alternate the exercise. If your partner's hitting you pretty hard, you may want to hit him back. Show good control and make sure your partner's ready to absorb the shock. Next, with a padded hand, I'm going to be working the straight punch into the stomach. Not only are you conditioning your midsection to withstand these blows, you're also getting a good idea of what parts of your body are good to attack. If your opponent hits you with a nice punch or kick, you have a good idea of what are good vulnerable points in the midsection when you attack him or an opponent. Now performing uppercuts, alternating back and forth. Then is the round kick. The front leg round kick, really not one of the most powerful kicking techniques. But over time, you can develop it into a very devastating weapon. Also, conditioning the midsection. Next, hand techniques combined with kicking techniques. The beginner's routine. Let's start out with some simple exercises to get you going. Try to follow the number of sets and reps as a guideline. Top left, we're performing crunches. Then we move to alternating crunches, left elbow hitting right knee, right elbow hitting left knee. Then into small form simplified V sit-ups. Then into full form simplified V sit-ups. Next, flat bent knee sit-ups with hands behind the head. Then we go to incline sit-ups with hands crossed in front. Then into flat small form leg raises. Then flat full form leg raises. The next series of exercises include the flat straight leg sit-up with hands behind the head. Then we go into bent knee with hands behind the head. Then again, small form leg raises. And then the last exercise, simplified crunches while lying on your back. Now we move into the intermediate routine with slightly more difficult exercises. These exercises can be done 4 to 5 times a week, starting with the V sit-ups. Then we move to the incline bent knee sit-ups with the 25-pound plate. Then we move to the flat leg raise with the 90-degree form. Then we go into the full form incline leg raise. Another intermediate routine involves a bent knee sit-up on the incline board. Then we move to V sit-ups with wrist and ankle weights, a little bit more difficult. Then we move to the 25-pound plate hanging over the shoulders, and then again the V sit-ups, but this time without the wrist and ankle weights. Now for the advanced routines. Again, if these are not that difficult, increase the number of sets and repetitions if you're at that level. Simple straight leg hanging leg raises, then bent knee hanging leg raises. Then we do the twisties, left and right, straight knee and bent knee hanging leg raises. The next series of exercises, we start with a higher number of sets and repetitions of bent knee sit-ups with hands behind the head. Then we move to hanging leg raises with the ankle weights. Then we go to the V sit-ups without wrist and ankle weights. And then with my unique form of hanging leg raises, making wide circles with the legs. And finally, we work the Roman chair sit-ups with hands behind the head. Then we go to the pull downs in the preacher position. Then the hanging leg raise, hitting the bar with the instep. And then finishing off with 4 sets of 100 reps, bent knee sit-ups with wrist weights. Then for the contact athletes competing in very high-impact sports, we use our unique contact training methods. These exercises are done for 15 to 20 minutes rather than any particular number of sets or reps. So remember, are you just trying to tone up, or do you want to become a champion and go for it?